Welcome back. If you're returning and if you're new here, my name is Shay. Welcome to the Brotherhood. All right, let's get straight to it. So, I'm gonna start off, preface this video by saying I'm probably gonna piss a lot of self-improvement YouTubers off by saying this. If they were to watch this, they'd probably be pretty pissed. But I don't care, right? Because I have my own beliefs, and this is the way I see things, and this is what helped me. So, um, the topic of the video is going to be characters or fictional characters, right? And what do I mean when I talk about these characters? Right, I'm talking about them from the point of view of like as an inspiration in some sense, right? A lot of the characters I grew up with are the reason that I am the way that I am. And if I didn't grow up with them, then I don't think I would be the way that I am. Like for example, one of my biggest inspirations, and I know what people say all the time. Oh, it's corny. Oh, it's cringe. Oh, it's fictional. Blah blah blah. I hear it all the time. Okay, and I don't care. Listen, when I grew up watching Transformers all the time, right? And someone like me watching young kid watching Optimus Prime, like of course it was so sick. It was like a truck that would turn into a machine, it was so cool. But something about him was just so inspirational. The way he talked, the way his character was. And now that, I'm a bit of a psych major, and I like kind of analyzing characters and things like that, like we used to do back in language arts, which it's weird. I used to hate doing that, but now I actually like doing it. I analyze these characters, and I'm like, now as I'm older, I realize that there's something so dangerous about all of these characters. Like Optimus as a character, if you guys don't know in Transformers, right? He's more of like a leader. He's like very, very humble, I would say, and but he has aspects to him that are very, very, I would say, dangerous as well. He's definitely dangerous. He's fought bigger things than him, and he's a great leader as well. And all of that is very, very inspiring stuff. And so that's why I kind of look at a lot of these self improvement YouTubers kind of weird when they say stuff like this. It's like I understand the video game thing. Not most people don't actually play an hour; they play more than that, and that's a cope. Understandable. All this talk about social media, all the other bad habits. I understand, but when it comes to this, I've actually truly questioned myself on this. And I've asked myself, am I coping? Do I just like watching this stuff, or is it actually something that I feel as if it actually benefits me? And my answer to that was it's beneficial, assuming you don't just, you know, sit around binge watch it all the time. Like I'll do it. I'll watch anime during my OMAD time when I'm eating, when I'm learning stuff, or when I want to watch something inspirational. That actually brings me inspiration because I see some of the characters in there, and I'm like, well, this is way better than what anyone has to offer in real life. Like no one besides all the gurus you see online and stuff like that, that people hate using that word. People also hate a lot of the self-talk motivation people online, like David Goggins, love him. Tate said some good stuff here and there as well. Hamza, all these different people, right? Jocko Willing, uh, who Chris Williamson, uh, Andrew Huberman, right? These guys are real life heroes, and that's great and everything, and they can be people's inspiration. But sometimes to be something unreal, I feel like it's fine to have an inspiration that's unreal. Now, does that mean you're gonna be able to do a Kamehameha wave? No. Does that mean you're gonna transform into a goddamn car? No. Right? Of course, we understand that. Okay, but these characters, it's their characters that are so it's their character that's so compelling, right? And so that's why they're so inspirational. And for example, I'd much rather be associated with. Much rather focus my attention on that kind of content than I would associate with myself with most people around me. Because let's be honest, most people around are just not on self improvement and don't care to be, right? But when you watch characters like this, there's something inspirational about them. There's something that you see, there's a drive, there's something that they want to accomplish. And that is incredibly inspiring. And I don't know about you, but it actually gets me to move. Like, for example, a lot of people say motivation videos are BS as well. Like, I understand that the concept of motivation is also fleeting. And yes, I completely and utterly agree. You need discipline over motivation. But when you surround yourself with these kinds of things, right? These inspirational fictional characters or the real people that you listen to the motivational videos of, you literally put yourself in a mental landscape of listening to the greats, right? Listening to the greats and kind of acquiring their knowledge. Books are the same thing, but they're more in-depth versions of that, and that's why they're also very resourceful, like audiobooks and things like that. You're surrounding your mental landscape with all of this kind of positive, very, very driven energy, right? And I think that's much better than surrounding yourself with people that are either just gonna gossip half the time or talk some talk about things that don't really matter at the end of the day, trivial as shit. Like people talk about, oh, you watched this game on that day. This like sometimes that small talk is fine, but like being in a perpetual state of that is just for me personally just boring as hell. All right, so I'd rather spend my time uh, doing all this or watching all this. Like for example, recently I've been watching Dr. Stone. That's been pretty cool. That's been pretty inspiring as well because you know, it something about his character, like it just makes me think like if I was to be in a survival if I was to be in a situation like that, I don't think I'd survive very long because I don't know the fundamentals of the basics of a lot of things like cooking or making a fire or something like that. So it kind of inspires me to like learn about things like that, or to a more basic principle, learn about the basic principles of most things that I'm already involved in, like YouTube, or trying to learn about business, or um, maybe even cooking, right? Maybe if I ever want to get into that. So that's what kind of inspires me and puts me in a mental frame to be able to want to do those kinds of things because I've surrounded myself, my mental space, with that kind of energy, right? Rather than all the annoying, oh, bro, I'm gonna text this girl or I'm gonna do this. It's like, bro, waste of time, waste of energy, and I don't want to surround myself with that. Same thing. It doesn't matter if you're a woman and you're texting guys as well. It doesn't matter. Same thing. Or people that are just not fun to be around, or toxic, or maybe people that actually don't even have any sort of aspirations, any goals, or anything like that. They just don't want to go anywhere. It's not fun to surround yourself with that. But I think there's a lot of utility in that, and I think it doesn't get talked enough about. If anything, I think it gets discouraged. And I can understand why it gets discouraged too, right? Because some of you, now, this is very much indeed a cope. It's like if you're binge watching constantly and have nothing better to do and aren't on the kind of schedules that will allow you to get all your work done first and then you indulge in stuff like that, okay, yeah, that is very, very counterproductive. Do not do that. That's how it becomes a cope. But I think if you do it for the sake of learning for an inspiration, and I know people are gonna disagree with me on this, or they're gonna say this, oh, this, that, like, oh, Shay, it's a cope, it's a cope, it's a cope, don't watch it. But I truly don't believe that. And if I agreed with every self-improvement YouTuber out there, I wouldn't have my own kind of mind. I wouldn't be my own kind of person. But let's just make this clear. I'm not doing it for the sake of that. I genuinely do believe in this, right? So yeah, that's the way in which I think. If you use it as a proper form of inspiration and you're watching the right kind of things, you're not sitting around watching high school DxD and things like that. Those are two different things. Like for example, I was watching Blue Lock, and I started getting into the philosophy of Blue Lock and what the ego meant, and it kind of challenged my beliefs on what an ego was, and I still don't have a sophisticated understanding of what that could be or what their definition of ego means to me, right? And how that applies, because I've always viewed ego as a negative thing, but is it like, oh wait, do I need to be this ruthless? Do I need to see reality in this way to be able to kind of succeed? Do I need that adaptability mindset like Isagi has? Things like that, like these what is it? These shows can provide a great basis of, you know, kind of conflicting with your beliefs as well, and that's very, very important, because then you get to kind of question like whether or not the things you believe in are serving you or not, right? So yeah, and I understand how that can be a very, very hard line to draw, like what show would then be resourceful and then what wouldn't. I would just say it's more so like what you find to be proper, inspiring, and to lead you in the direction that you want to go. Now that doesn't mean sit on the couch all day, right? Like for the way my schedule works, I'm able to get everything done within the morning, and I've talked about this before. Everything done in the morning, and while I eat is when my brain operates at, a slower pace, right? Much slower, and I just focus on eating and learning and doing like very, very trivial tasks. So once I'm done with that and I'm still eating during the night, I'll watch stuff like this, and I like to it definitely inspires me. So I'd I'd much rather surround myself with that than all the bad influences or anything like that, right? Because you're the average of the five people you surround yourself with. You've probably heard of that. And then I think you're also the average of the five content creators you surround yourself with, because now this world is a lot more, how would I say this? It's averaged out to be a lot more social media based as well, right? Internet based. So that could also apply to the kind of things you're watching, not just content creators, but like actual movies or actual, animes or TV shows or things of that nature. So, um, and yeah, one other benefit that I think really, really helps is like it kind of acts as a reward system as if you're a beginner in self improvement as well, and things of that nature. It's like if you can reward yourself in a way that doesn't kind of digress your progress in any other of the domains that you're working on, right? Then that's the way in which you want to reward yourself. And so this is my way of doing that. Now most self-improvement YouTubers will be like, "Oh, but the routine is your reward." It's like I feel at my best when I'm on the routine. I'm not even going to lie to you, because when I completely stray off of it and I do go into those like, you know, like everybody does when they're on self-improvement, like those days where um you just completely and utterly start indulging in everything because you've held back for so long, and then you get back on it again even harder, and now you're even better. Now you could go 3 months without doing that, 4 months without doing that, 5 months without doing that. It's all a learning process, right? It all takes time. So I realize on those days that I'm actually not that fulfilled, and I'd just much rather be doing stuff like this. Because I genuinely just want to, and that's a realization that comes with time and with improving yourself. But I definitely do think, as of right now, it is in my belief that things like this help. But I don't. Again, I want to preface this by saying I don't sit around and watch anime all day or TV shows or whatever inspires you. I literally watch it as more so of a source of inspiration, and if there's going to be any kind of content within that, my mind, that kind of clouds my space, it's going to be the kind that kind of helps me grow in a positive direction, or puts my mind in a positive place, or makes me contemplate my already existing beliefs and things like that, or helps me learn something new, like Dr. Stone is, for example, or things like that. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that and throw my thoughts on there about that. Let me know what you think, and yeah, subscribe if you haven't, and take it easy. Peace.